Alright, so in the last session of the Salt Rock campaign, we saw the Nine Hells Company face down a strange metallic-like entity standing outside the Old Skull Inn within Shadowdale. The cultists taunt the company to come out, seeming disrupting some sort of hostile takeover within the village. The Nine Hells decided to attack the entity, as well as the Shah cultists that followed it, killing the innkeeper in the fray. An old lady who was the innkeeper's mother ran out to cradle her child and berated the Nine Hells for their coming into the village and disrupting the order of things. This caused Gregory to lose the little control he had over his emotions. He beheaded the woman, turning Queen Alice.
She had a knife.
She did not have a knife, but, you know, whatever you say. Turning Queen Alice, the Lord Magister, and everyone else in the village to turn their back on the company. Everyone fled the inn, leaving the Nine Hells with nothing but a troubled Gregory and a riddle to find out where Elminster was in the village. Due to some deduction from Soleil and decompartmentalizing of Fiddle, the company found themselves in the nearby lake where a reflection of a tower that wasn't there appeared on the water's surface. They all dived down, found themselves floating straight back up as soon as they dived, as they had entered a portal to another pocket dimension. And that is where we will resume.
So you're going to tell me that you'd let anyone else do that recap while you've got that written down?
Exactly. Well, you got that in your back pocket. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
All of it. Well, I have to do a bunch of writing anyway, so it's not too much hassle for me, I suppose. But, you know.
He put on his big boy voice and everything.
That was. I don't think anyone would notice.
Well, we noticed. We noticed and we appreciate it.
Thank
See,
you.
Bobby
I
just uses his
appreciate
big
that.
boy. Bobby just uses his big boy voice for everyday life, so you don't
He's
notice.
he's just a big boy. What can I say?
He's just a big boy.
He's-
Right?
I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy. Yeah. No, it's hard being a big boy, but you know, sometimes you got to be one.
But no, thank you. My ego really needed that, Bobby. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, Nine Hells. As you all swim in the middle of the lake, well, I suppose floating in a sense, sort of taking in the surroundings from this pocket dimension, you have emerged at what looks like, from quick scan of your surroundings, is a floating moat in the middle of the astral sea. Constellations scatter the dark void surrounding the moat. All strange mirages and colour bursts that all fill the dark, empty space. On the moat itself, luscious, vibrant green grass covers the surface. Farmland encircles the ornate stone-walled city that you can see just in front of you, roughly. Towers of stone all circling a centre building, reaching higher than the rest. The centre building itself is a tall stone tower that holds an incandescent orb of sunlight that hangs just above the tip of the tower. It produces an aura of warmth and light on the moat. It is almost parallel to what you'd imagine living in the Divine Realms would be like. Bountiful farmlands, peaceful ambience, and true serenity. As you're all kind of floating there, all completely wet through, you will swim. It's not too far to where the land comes and meets the water, so you swim out towards the edge of the lake. And as you all kind of arrive there, it wasn't too much of an arduous swim. I mean, you basically dive down, and about 5 seconds later, you end up just floating straight back up. So you're not exhausted at all or anything, you're just completely wet through as you kind of arrive at the edge of the lake. And on the sides where you are now, you can see there is farmland ahead of you. Just all around the open landscape outside of the city, there's just all farmland. And if I point you all towards the Shadowdale tab on Discord, there is a map on there that depicts this weird pocket dimension that you found yourselves in called Sanctuary, which gives you a bit more of a brief idea. But essentially it is just a floating piece of land in the middle of the astral sea with a giant city on it, and then outside the city is all just luscious green. It's all larger than life, everything. about everywhere about it. There are small little floating moats above the kind of lakes and the one that you've just come out of. And there's also a forest that outlines the outskirt on one half of it, as well as another half where there seems to be lots of hills and little quarries that are all built into the hills themselves.
So in the Lake of Steam.
No, you are just coming out of the Shadowdale Lake. So one of the smaller ones.
Okay. Yeah.
So you've kind of got the wall that's sort of almost running adjacent to the lake. So you're kind of seeing this big sunlight orb that seems enormous to look at, and you kind of have to cover your eyes to even look at it because of the amount of light and heat it's producing. It kind of creates an ecosystem on this moat. So, as you arrive at the edge of the lake, you see all the farmland straight ahead of you, and you see the nearest person is a human female who's kind of working there, just in kind of overalls with a shovel, kind of digging some land. And before you get a time to actually look further or scan any other bits of the surroundings, you see there are two dragonborn-like creatures who are kind of running down the shoreline with spears. A male and a female one, who both come over in sort of tribal leathers with spears, and they sort of run over and then stop right before you, and they're like, "Who are you? State your business." And then the second one, she's like, "Outsiders, intruders, are you friend or foe?"
Well, yeah. Oh, you go.
Oh, okay.
Speak quickly.
Why? What if we want to speak slowly?
You're intruders in Sanctuary. You must state your business now.
Are we not welcome here?
And as you're sort of having this confrontation, you see the female farmer shouts over, "Gesh, Kavava, stand down." And you see both of them kind of look at each other, and they kind of keep their spears still pointed at you, but take a couple of steps back. And as you see the female farmer approach, you see she's standing about above 6 feet tall, with tan skin, beautiful features. She has long silver hair that falls down to her waist, and the top half of her hair is tied into a messy bun. She is wearing a simple denim overalls with leather gloves and boots as she puts a shovel down and approaches.
I'm sorry I got so angry then. It wasn't my intention.
Sort of our bad. Yeah, I
our
mean, we
bad.
kind of
I'm sorry. Yeah,
just fell through a lake and ended up in this place.
Yeah, I started speaking.
A bit disorientated.
He spoke over me, and that pissed me off. And I spoke over him, and that pissed him off.
It pissed me off as well.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, I understand. Honestly, I do. Oh, sorry. Let's start again.
Yes. Hello.
Hello. We are the Nine Hells. We're here to see Elminster.
That's funny. We really should have just said that in the first place, to be honest. It really would have made this whole thing a lot easier.
It would have much easier.
That's a photo aid of her in the general chat, but you get the base description from what I've already described. As she goes, "Hello, I'm sorry as well. We are a bit wary of outsiders. Nine Hells, you say? Are you a sellsword company by chance?"
We are, yes.
Well, it's a topic of some discrepancy. Are we a sellsword company? Are we not?
Yeah, we don't really know at this point. We're sort of just people who hang out with each other, go on adventures and stuff.
We don't really get paid that often either.
You get paid sometimes.
Occasionally, after I've sold some paintings, but
You were the
usually about
ones
it.
that came from Salt Rock, if I'm not mistaken. Yes?
How do you know about that? Insight check.
Roll an insight check.
Could just wait for her to respond. But...
Suppose it's in character.
14. Yeah, I am incredibly paranoid at this moment.
What are you trying to insight in particular? Like how she knows it?
Just her whole demeanor. She seems slightly strange. Is there anything that, she's trying to hide? Because I assume she's going to tell me, I assume she's going to tell me how she knows.
Not particularly. She's wary. She doesn't know you, but she doesn't seem surprised that you're here in the same sense. Almost expectantly, someone was going to come through here, hence why she is here. That's kind of all you gather.
Okay.
She's not completely surprised, but she's still wary. So, my name is Storm Silverhand, and I am one of the guardians of Sanctuary. Elminster mentioned a band of adventurers might find their way here. One Nine Hells company. I can take you to him, but I must...
A little bit eerie, but... I mean, I have to be honest. I mean, sorry to interrupt, but I have to say, secret realm underneath the lake... I mean, security, as things go. I mean, if someone decided to take a swim and dove down like a little bit, and then they just kind of came... I mean, it seems fairly easy to get here.
Well, most people that are in Sanctuary know not to swim in the portals. That would be daft, obviously.
No, I think he means the people on the outside go for a swim in that lake, and they end up here.
That is a issue. We usually have people stationed, and she kind of like claps her hands. She's like, the rest of you can come down now. And as you look on the other side of the lake, the opposite side to where you swam to, there's like the forest that kind of outlines the edge, and you see all these dragonborns with like short bows and long bows kind of step down from the trees and start kind of emerging, and you see there's about a good dozen of them all kind of emerging. She's like, yes, we are aware one of the portal entries have been compromised, but luckily as of yet they have not figured out how to find the place.
Well, actually, on second thought, I changed my mind about the whole thing. It's a very good setup you have here.
Yeah, it seems okay.
Thank you. I mean, it was not my idea, but anyway, you're here to see Elminster. I can take you to him, but I must warn you, we have one rule in Sanctuary that you must follow. We serve the mortal races first and foremost, so no killing, no conflict while you reside in this place. That is the only rule we follow.
We really messed up when we first came through there, didn't we? Straight away. First thing we did.
It's understandable. We did not know each other.
Please forgive us.
It's understandable.
Also, I have to say that, you know, a basic rule of no killing is kind of a given, right?
It is, but
I mean, it'd be more of a surprise if you had said, hey, guess what? Killing, very much allowed here.
You'd be surprised how many people would be quick to challenge that rule.
Yeah, I have no idea about that at all.
Please, if you would care to follow me, I will take you to see Elminster. And she starts kind of...
Do you have any towels?
Can I insight check again, quickly? Just to see if she's telling us the truth, that she's going to take us to Elminster.
I can carry over your 14. Usually it's just like a check,
right.
and then that's what you're ascertaining from the situation. With the 14, again, she seems genuine. Seems like this is kind of like almost rehearsed. I'm going to meet someone who I don't know, make sure they are who they say they are, and then take them to a certain place. She doesn't seem to have any ulterior motive to be taking you anywhere else than what she's saying she's taking you to.
Okay.
From what you can ascertain.
I trust that for now.
Okay. So, yeah, she doesn't have any towels on her, unfortunately, but she say once they reach Elminster, she can get some towels for all of you to kind of wipe yourselves down, dry yourselves off. So, as Storm leads you to, I'll copy and paste her name into the chat actually, just so you have it. So, should be a capital S there, bad. Storm leads you towards a dirt path. Her long silver hair swaying with the movement of her hips. The road winds and bends around hills and mounds towards the grandiose city, which you kind of follow the wall all the way around. You pass through farmland. You pass a menagerie of different creatures that are all residing here. You see an abundance of dragonborns, which, bear in mind, in this setting, so this is something that hasn't come up yet, because there was different ways it's going to go about, but dragonborns actually weren't in Faerun at this time, in this setting. So they were a consequence because of the spell plague, so they sort of came through from a different world.
Yeah, so we won't have knowledge of them.
These creatures, you're not sure if they're savage or intelligent creatures, if they're friendly or hostile. You're not really too sure what to make of them. So all of this, for all of your eyes, is new. But obviously, just with the short conversation you've had, you know they can speak. They seem to be having a societal sort of structure to them. So you probably ascertain, you know, they are another sort of intelligent mortal race. But yeah, these are all new. You see a couple of Genasis, similar to other individuals in the past.
Yes, Necros. Hopefully we've described the whole Necros thing for the audience at this point.
Well, we'll see, hopefully. But yeah, you see centaurs and eladrin as well, creatures of the Fae, as well as lots of different odds creatures in between. It seems to be, I think that's the best way I can put it, a menagerie of different races here. They're all seeming to go about their daily lives of farm work. And you see as you cross some farmland, someone's like harvesting wheat from the ground, sort of tilling it. And as soon as they kind of run through a patch tilling it, you see the wheat start sprouting straight away after it's been tilled, almost like it's an ever-growing sort of land. It sort of just gives and gives. It's the way it's been sort of designed.
If you have the magic to do that, why don't you have the magic to just create food? Why put somebody through the effort of farming it?
Are you saying that to
You know
Storm?
what I mean? No, I think I'm saying that to JC as I'm like walking behind a little bit as part of the party. Just if they have the ability to make food grow up from the ground, why make somebody go through the effort of having to farm it, having to push a plough?
I don't know. I imagine they're
Oi.
Sorry.
Sound a little bit gruff there today, aren't you, JC?
Let me try again.
Oh, he just gave me a look.
I don't know why they farm their vegetables. Je ne sais pas, monsieur. Why the vegetables grow so quickly, I do not know, and why they still have to be plowed is a mystery to me as it is to you. But I think we should catch up with the others before we get left behind.
Yeah, good point. Good point. I'll be sure to ask Elminster that question though.
I feel like Josh is so done with JC at this point. He's like, for fuck's sake, why do you keep making me RP?
Yeah. He's just waiting for you to describe the perfect cliff.
Yeah. Well, you are in like a floating land in the middle of space. So if you want to just float off somewhere, you can just walk off the edge and there you go. You're sorted.
Nice.
Although I have just decided a bunch of character art. So yeah.
He's me. He's from where I'm from.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing else. Yeah. All right. So after about roughly 5-10 minutes of walking, passing all these different farm holdings, you arrive at a curved elven bridge that leads into the gate and through the walls into the district of Toril within the city. The city, if you imagine kind of like Cyrodiil and like the capital of it, it's kind of built as like it's all built around the main centre. It's sort of designed similar to that. Got district of Toril, which is front and centre, facing outwards, and then you've got the Oerth district. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not entirely sure. And then you've got the Hikafa district as well. So you're entering in through the Toril district.
Nice. Do we know that it's the Toril district?
I'll say there's some signs saying this is the Toril district.
Is Toril the name of the planet? And do I know that?
I would say yes, because I'm impressed you managed to just pull that out. So
Nice.
yeah, I'll say Fiddle does have a good knowledge of the of the universe.
Amazing.
And
I'm
of the
gonna be-
potential other universes there might be. or
Amazing,
planets.
perfect. So am I putting this together that maybe the districts are inhabited by members of different, like, realities or
Possibly.
universes, planes, things. Who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't say I'm an expert in this sort of field of science anyway, but
No,
I've got my suspicions just from a sign that says Tyrrell District, and maybe another sign with an arrow pointing to the Picardha District. I'm like,
So you might, you've got like an inkling. So maybe that theory holds up, maybe it doesn't.
okay, good to know.
Up close though, you seem to notice from afar, seem like a perfect incandescent city, almost divine worthy, but up close and personal you can actually see that there are imperfections in the city itself. The walls are cracked, almost like severely cracked, like it's like somewhat like a wall's collapsed and then they put it back together with glue almost, and some parts have crumbled. The bridge is jagged as you walk over it to enter into the district. It's also knotted in places, almost in like a weird sort of warpy section, but to walk on it's still fine. It's not too troublesome. It's very odd looking. As you enter inside the district, the houses bend contort into different shapes. The roads are paved with different coloured stones, making them very what's the right word? If someone had like OCD, they'd be like having a nightmare here. Basically, it's all kind of.
I thought you meant like you had a yellow road and a blue road.
Oh no, it's not like.
I'm starting to think, but now it knows.
Yeah. But the lights flicker into different colours, all not correlating in any sequence. They just seem to flicker randomly. The district is populated with a mass of Dragonborn. John Claude with the highest passive perception. You notice with the Dragonborns themselves, all of them bear tattoos on their arm, and some of the tattoos differ from others, but a lot of them depict the same tattoos. And sort of putting this together, you can kind of dictate this is sort of like a Dragonborn would belong to a clan, and there's about 3 or 4 different clans, and all of these Dragonborn belong to one of those clans, and the tattoo symbolises that. You follow Storm through the district to the biggest building that sits in the centre of the city, the big stone tower that reaches above the rest with the floating sunlight orb that hangs above it. 2 centaur guards stand adjacent to the gate that enters into the big tower itself, and you see Storm converse with them for a moment before they step aside and let you through into the main building itself. But the centaurs themselves eyeball each of you as you walk past, almost in that slow motion kind of pan as you kind of walk past into the building itself. You enter into a main foray of the large tower where a couple of individuals stand, all conversing in small groups as you walk past. And you see a grand staircase similar to the enchanted staircase in Hogwarts running up the centre. The stairs move and shift, all leading to different passageways of the tower. Storm leads you up a total of 11 different stairways where you arrive in Elminster's chamber. So, walking through the decadent doors, you enter into a large circular room with a pointed roof that rises high above the building you saw outside, almost like bigger on the inside than outside. A round table sits at the centre of the room with a blue orb of light that hovers above it.
Should we have a quick conversation before we walk in to his chamber?
Yeah, of course you can.
I
you
think I
can
just go.
basically say to Storm, just like, can we have quick? And she's like, of course, and she stands to the side.
Okay, so hold up before we go any further, guys. What's our play here? What's our plan? Are we going all in on Elminster? Are we just he's our guy? Are we just telling him everything? We laying all our cards on the table and seeing if he can help us?
Yes.
We?
Oui, monsieur.
That would be my play. But I wanted to see how everybody felt first.
I mean, I don't really see other option we have at this point.
Well, very much backs against the wall, aren't we?
Well, unless you've got any ideas.
No, it's just I always feel like we're about to be stabbed in the back. I don't know. And this isn't a new thing. This isn't just because I'm paranoid. Shut up! Who said it was? Just always feel like we're about to be stabbed in the back.
What are you talking about?
We just always
What's
constantly
going on right now?
we meet a new person we go and do something for them, and then we get digged over. I'm just really hoping this isn't like all of the other times. But for some reason, I want to trust him. So,
I mean, I can't.
so long as we're all agreed.
I'm struggling to think of how many times that's actually happened to us, really. What I do remember is, though, you walking into a situation that's perfectly fine, and then making a huge deal about something that it doesn't matter, and then suddenly we've had to kill people.
I walked in to go and see Elminster.
Second.
So
Okay,
I've
so
gone into the room. Yeah.
John Claude's gone in. Storm's followed in with him. So it's just left.
Hold on, are you saying that I was the one who killed that woman?
Fiddle,
Because I don't
Gregory.
think that's how that. I don't think that's how
Not
that happened at all,
directly.
Gregory.
It's not. You didn't kill her directly, but it's definitely your fault.
And how do you figure that?
Well, she'd still be alive if you hadn't decided to tell everyone what we were doing.
I do remember that now. Yeah, I'd forgotten what you were talking about then for a second. Yes. But I still didn't kill her. You still definitely killed her. And
Well,
it's
by
your fault.
proxy.
This is a good point.
Well,
This is pointless. Why are we even discussing this?
This-
well, if I didn't say something, I was going to build up.
It was.
wouldn't
So
be
long
able
as
to
we all
sleep
know
tonight.
it's Gregory's fault that that woman's dead.
You both need to stop bickering. Just shut up.
Storm sticks her head out of the door. She's like, "Are you coming in, or are you gonna argue here all day?"
Let's just move on.
No, we're coming in.
Coming.
Yeah. While that was going on as well, because the staircase is ever moving, it probably did like one complete circle around the tower as you were arguing, and just came back around again, and then you just like walk through
Nice.
as soon as you came back through. So, as I mentioned before, you walk through the decadent doors. You enter a large circular room with a pointed roof that rises high above the building. Round table sits at the center of this room. Blue light projects a blue orb, that projects light around, and there's a giant door that leads off to the left and right. And at the back of this circular room is like a decadent archway with a red curtain covering what's behind it. A tall woman with silver hair, almost identical to Storm, emerges from the curtain to greet you. To look at first, you're like, well, there's two of her. But you notice some minor differences. The woman entering from the curtain's a little bit older, still of a similar height, but the long silver hair that flows down towards the waist seems to be almost identical. As Storm says to her, saying, "Sister, we have new arrivals who I think can help." And you see the woman who came through the curtain reply saying, "He is weak at the moment, Storm. He will not be." And you hear a voice shout out from the curtain over both those two. "Gentlemen, Acererak," as the old voice shouts out from behind the curtain, and you hear some like wheezing and coughing from behind the curtain. You see Acererak, who is Acererak Silverhands, who's the other woman that came through. Write that down. She simply nods and gestures for all of you to follow her behind the curtain. Do you all follow?
We follow.
Okay. Past the curtain lies a simple bedroom. Wooden floorboards, paintings hang on the wooden panelled walls depicting Elminster through different stages of his life. From being a youth, middle-aged to old, to very old, to very, very old, to very, very, very... He basically is old for most of his life. You see, there are more blue orbs projecting light in this room, and on the opposite side from where you've entered sits a bed, where an elderly human male, a hawk-like nose, bushy eyebrows, a merling-like grey beard that falls way past the waist, long grey hair pulled back into a ponytail, and a plain red dressing gown. Elminster lays in his bed, massaging his temple, as you enter. He looks up at you, his bushy eyebrows raising ever so slightly, revealing tired black bags under vibrant blue eyes as he sits up, his back cracking as he sits up straight and leans back against the backboard and addresses you. Well, I assume this is Nine Hells Company. Am I correct in my assumption?
I didn't realize we were speaking to Sean Connery.
I step forward
Elminster.
and I go, Sir, my name is Jator Jossi Vordrig Fiddlethon Goldflight. It is a pleasure to meet you.
I know who you are.
We are the Nine Hells Company.
Fiddly just said he knows who we are.
Yeah, but he also asked, you guys are the Nine Hells Company, right? Why would he ask that if he knew who we were?
He said, I presume.
I have a question to determine if you are who you say you are. When the Nine Hells Company were under contract in Suzelle under Queen Alusair.
Sorry, it's moved from Sean Connery to fucking Michael Caine. Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant.
Who was their patron who sought over the Nine Hells Company? What was his name?
What?
The name of the patron who looked after the Nine Hells Company when they were under contract for Queen Alusair. I need to know you are who you say you are.
Lord.
That was Lord Baranados, our good friend.
Lord Baranados.
He simply nods his head, seems in great discomfort as he kind of like adjusts himself. My second question: are you sympathizers to Shah, the Mistress of Night?
What? Who?
No, we're not.
He looks you all very precisely. My third question, probably the most important of the three. Are you willing?
Why do you start with it?
He looks at you, Gregory, and then looks back. Are you willing to help me in saving the world?
Are you going to speak any quicker than this, or is it going to be like this the entire time?
He just looks at you, and he just sinks ever so slightly.
Mr. Elminster, this is the whole reason we are here.
Tell me, what is the reason?
I just did to help you save the world.
And our friend, the Cowardly Lion, needs a heart.
Oh, that's a good callback, that was.
Well, actually, I was hoping you could help me save the world, but it's okay.
Yeah, Elastra, who's the older sister, the Silverhands, she's sort of like come up to stand beside Elminster beside the bed. She's just sort of like looking at all of you in disgust at the moment. He continues saying, I am currently recruiting every-bodied man strong enough to fight what's coming. I need all of humanity to come together to fight this threat, this Acererak. I know
just humanity, or
It's
gnomes
just
and
me and
orcs,
JC,
or-
really.
yeah.
the mortal realms.
He's kind of forgetting about half the company.
My apologies, I'm tired. The mortal races.
I mean, you say that, but I think it will just be us four doing the fighting for some reason.
Yes, I think it
But-
will be too. But we'll see. It tends to be how things go.
So yes.
You might get a couple more NPCs that you decide to leave in a different plane. Who knows?
Ah, yes, a few more meat shields. We get through those quite quickly.
Me too. It's sad when we left those guys in the shadow plane.
Kind of forgotten their names.
Guardsman Dale.
Oh, Guardsman Rail, yes.
If I may continue from your conversation.
Sorry, yes.
I know you've encountered this lich in your travels, seen some of its power. But what the lich is attempting to do will destroy the very fabric of our universe. But before I continue, have you heard of the one rule we follow here in Sanctuary?
Don't kill people and don't cause confrontations.
Yes. No matter what nation, grievous or ambition you have in this world, you put it all aside here, and now, because none of it will matter, Acererak succeeds. It's my only rule.
Let's hope that Acererak doesn't come here then.
Gods forbid that.
Yeah, what are you going to do when he shows up? Are you going to arrest him for breaking the rules?
No. I intend to destroy him.
What, from bed?
Oh, with us. We're his agents.
He
Well, he just kind of asked us a bunch of questions since we got. I'm sorry, Mr. Elminster.
Are you
I may seem
sorry?
a little bit
You don't seem
precocious.
very sorry.
I'm okay.
You seem
alright,
very
I'm not
antsy to
sorry.
me, and you keep interrupting when I'm trying to
I'm sorry.
answer the very question you're about to ask.
What's the question?
You're about
What
to,
was I about to ask?
about to ask what I want from you.
Well, no, I was about to ask actually. What kind of? Yeah, actually, you're all right. Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Very good. Now,
He is truly a powerful wizard. I am in awe of His Majesty.
You burnt a whole spell slot on that.
yeah. This lich that fancies itself a god is attempting to activate places of potent magic within the realms to punch through the weed, tear our cosmos asunder. These places of ancient magic are called nodes. I fear you have already seen one such place. A citadel of pure light in the land of darkness. He sort of like looks at all of you, giving a knowing look. The Shining Citadel was the second node activated. First was misused 5 years ago, which enabled Acererak to kill Shah, disguise itself as the Mistress of Night, to destroy Mistra, cause these events to unfold. I have no doubts that if Acererak succeeds in activating a third node, the last tether the weave sits on will be broken. Us chosen of Mistra, you see Elminster takes Elastra's hand, who is standing beside the bed. I've absorbed much of Mistra's power to keep the realms together as long as it has, but it has scarred us. We are weak, so we created this sanctuary not to hide, but to imprison ourselves from doing great harm in the material plane. I've lost most of my faculties. It is hard even now just to speak. Lasra herself suffered great loss. We can't do this without help. That's why we've been recruiting agents. And the gods be good, recruiting the 9 hells to act as our arm, stopping this Acererak. This is why I've been keeping tabs on you. You are all very powerful people by now. You have experienced much.
What, and you just kind of watched half of the stuff happen to us? I feel like you could have stopped most of it. Some pretty bad things happened.
Have you not just listened to what I've said? I am carrying the very essence of Mistra in my body that is wreaking havoc and killing me.
Thank you very much for absorbing the essence of Mistra. You've saved a great many arcane user. If she had died and nobody had caught the weave, we all would have been just thrown asunder, obliterated. So thank you.
Your thank you might be premature, I'm afraid. It's hangs on the edge of a dagger. And you see Elminster, every time Gregory's interrupted in this, and this is a thing you've noticed, he's been a bit aggy since he's sort of been talking, but every time Gregory interrupts, he almost kind of gives him like a glare, like he's just like sort of like goes to like almost prepared to kind of punch someone and then kind of stops himself. It's ever so slight, but you notice there's like a little twitch every now and then as he continues saying, I have agents that are tracking down Acererak's whereabouts on the material plane or anywhere else, but we can't destroy the creature without first destroying his phylactery. I don't know if many of you know about lichdom, but this is the source of their power. Without it, we can destroy the creature. He sort of adjusts himself once more. Task to you, 9 hells, would be tracking down where the resting place of this phylactery might be. And you see he pauses mid-sentence and starts rubbing his temple as if soothing a headache that won't abate, and his breathing becomes more frantic, and his body starts tensing, and he's
What is wrong with you?
welling up as you see Elastra, who's standing beside the bed, holding his hand, looks over at you, Sola, and she's like, I think you need to leave now. Please. Please leave.
What is wrong with him?
He's got all of the power of Mistra running through his body.
He sort of like starts writhing around, and he starts kind of like shouting. You know, almost if someone's so old, they sort of start losing their kind of, you know, mental willpower, and they just sort of start like regressing into like a baby stage.
Is this what it is? Is it old
Please, I don't want anyone else to see this. Leave now. And you see Storm kind of like
let's go.
opens the
Let's
curtain.
go.
She's like, please, if you can just exit into this bit, please.
Ah, there we go.
As you all kind of exit out and closes the door. As you you're kind of almost just standing outside the door to where someone's shouting, so you can still hear everything, but it's more that privacy of there's something in between. As you're kind of standing in this kind of circular room now, and she's like, I apologize on El's behalf. He hasn't been himself the last 5 years.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
I think he wouldn't mind me finishing off what he was saying, but seems like you all have been through a few scrapes to get here. There is accommodation for you on the 7th floor of the tower, should you want it. You're more than welcome to take up any bedroom you wish. There is simply taking the moving staircase back down. If you're willing to accept his offer, be an agent of Elminster. El has been researching the Lich for the last couple of years now, and has surmised the clue to finding the Flactric resting place lies in 2 different storybooks. But he didn't get any further than that before he got to, and she looks back at the curtain where the shouting continues until got to a point where he couldn't anymore. They'll be found in the library on the 5th floor, should you want them, as well as maps to cross-reference the location. Again, take some time with this. I know it's a lot to take in all in one go, and Elle's never been one to force someone into... And before she finishes a sentence, you see the doors to Elminster's chamber open once more.
Ooh.
You hear the echoed footsteps of a person walking in. Storm turns to greet the new arrival. Ah, here is one of Elminster's agents who is tracking down Acererak now, and you all turn to face the individual who entered the chamber, who now stands roughly about 10 feet from you. You hear this voice come out. Hello, brother. As he gives you, Gregory, a knowing look, you all see standing before you a human male in his late 30s. Shaggy black hair, a short scruffy beard, cat-like yellow eyes with a sharp canine teeth, large hairy arms as thick as black fur, nothing but tatters of clothes strapped across him, and an alabaster white wolf pelt across his shoulders as Sigismund Mollarch stands before you.
Mollarch.
I pull out my wand.
Sword, yeah. Pull out the sword. What are you doing here?
Sigismund sort of ignores everyone as deadlocking, staring at Gregory back at him. Like, well, this is my duty now. I am an agent of Elminster. What are you doing here?
Well, I know what I'm doing now. You have a lot to answer for, Mollarch. You traitor.
Holding my action.
Okay. He's looking, he's just deadball staring at you, Gregory. How much of him are you looking at, or are you just staring back at him?
Staring at him.
Okay.
Well, I'll eye him up a little bit. What's going on with him?
To look at him, so he's his irises have changed from normal to cat-like, a bit like, you know, Witcher style. But one thing that you notice above all else is his right hand has been replaced with a grey and dead hand that seems to be held together by a golden cuff around it. Seems like quite odd, almost like you chopped your hand off and put something else on there.
Mm-hmm.
Seems a lot more, what's the right word, buffed than before, a lot more bigger, swoller. As he looks back at you, deadpan staring at you, and he's like, Gregory, listen, brother,
Don't call me that. You lost the right to say that a long time ago.
You see he's got like this little bit of like a kind of a smug smile, but that's kind of like his demeanor sort of thing. And he's like, I am sorry killing Elizabeth.
Don't say her name.
Careful, Gregory.
I'm sorry.
No. We've come too far for you to say sorry.
I was still early in my transformation stage. I thought she was you. I went to that house that night to kill you.
Okay.
Bloodlust. Look. It's
It should
empty.
have been me, Molich. If I'd seen you on that night, you wouldn't be stood here now.
Believe you and me. Everything I've gone through, I wish that was the truth.
Oh, don't play that card with me. I know what you are. You stood here pretending to do good, pretending that you're the one that's going to save the world. I know what you are. You're a murderer. You took everything from me. Elizabeth was my one chance. Living a normal life. I could have been a good man, but you took that from me. You killed that from me.
Takes a step forward, ever so slightly, to be 9 feet from you. I've never claimed to be a good man, Gregory. Done a lot of sin in my time. A lot of regret.
No, your answer for all of it.
But I am here to save the world now.
Not with me, you're not.
Well, what are you going to do then, Gregory? You going to break the one rule of Sanctuary?
I don't care about the rules.
You going to attack me? He's sort of like almost turning into a coax. Like, go on, I dare you.
Don't push me, Molich.
He takes another
Go.
step forwards.
Walk away, Gregory. Let's go.
5 years!
Gregory, seems you don't have that much hateful lycanthropes as much as I thought you did if you're travelling with one. He's staring at you, Soleil, sort of like sniffing, and he can smell the scent off you.
We need to leave. I don't know why you're looking at me. I have no issue with you. Just go away.
You're a werewolf.
Just go away, you small man.
You are like me.
He's nothing like you.
Do you want us to kill you, Molich?
No. I don't, but...
Then I suggest you take a step back.
I take a step forward. And I draw out Black Razor.
Gregory.
You start hearing
now,
a voice in the back of your head.
Not now.
Yes, feed me. You start feeling your like, arms pulsing, Gregory. He's like, you see Sigismund's like, I don't blame you for hating me, Gregory, but I hated you much before you hated me. Gregory Weisenhorn, the Inquisitor. Gregory Weisenhorn, the hero of Blackburn. And what was I? Nothing but your lackey. Never
You
got the
were
boon
my
from hell.
brother, my friend. That's what you were. You didn't need to be an Inquisitor. You were there with me. The things we could have accomplished together.
You could have
You could have
accomplished,
carried on.
Gregory.
No,
It was you.
It was never about me. It was about
I fell on my
justice,
sword
always.
for you. He's got this grin that's wider now, and he's revealing his like canine teeth. Takes another step forward.
Sigismund Molich, for crimes against Helm and the people of the border kingdoms, I name thee Diabolus, and I condemn thee to death. What say you?
Gregory.
I'll take a step in front of Gregory and kind of just face him.
There's not like a lot
You
of.
don't need to do this. I'll fucking push him back a step then, I don't mind.
Yeah, no, go on.
I'm not afraid of this little pissing contest. Walk away.
No,
It's not
not
worth
now.
it. We have
Not
bigger
now.
things to worry
no,
about.
we don't. The only reason I'm
Yes,
still
we
alive
do.
is to kill him.
That's not true, Gregory.
Yes, it is. Out of the
No,
way.
it isn't.
Out of the way.
You kill him, there's a chance the entire world dies. And that goes for you too, Molich.
Right, I'm gonna grab Gregory and try and drag him away.
I won't stand for
Fuck
this.
it.
I will not work with a man that employs...
Are you going to resist Soleil's grapple, Gregory?
Take a deep breath. What was it all for, Molish?
I ask myself that sometimes, brother.
Stop talking in riddles. Give me a plain answer. Look at you. Look how far you've fallen.
You see him, like, kind of, this is sort of the first time, he starts kind of massaging his cuff, sort of like holding back something. He's like, maybe we save the world first, and then you still want to kill me after. We sort it out then. But I'll leave that up to you, brother.
Don't call me that. You're pushing your luck.
He looks to the rest of you, ignoring Gregory, kind of gives you all a courteous bow, but it's almost one of those, you know, don't mean shit, he ain't being polite. And
I spit in his direction.
he's sort of like, his grin goes wide and his teeth fully revealed now, and he looks over and he's like, we should talk some time. Well, I feel like there's a lot I can teach you. And he looks over at Storm.
I like hack a phlegm and spit again.
he looks over at Storm.
Fucking cunt.
He's like, Storm, is Elminster available? And he starts kind of walking past you all and starts kind of conversing with Storm on the other side of the room, but you're still currently in the same section, so you can overhear each other's conversation. What are you all doing?
Not this time. He doesn't get away this time. He doesn't get to walk away after all of this. He doesn't get to be the hero. Not today.
I sprint him, Molish.
I pull out my wand. Oh, my wand's already out. I cast hold person on Gregory.
Have I not got hold of him?
Yeah, so that's going to be a thing. So you've got, I'll say Ben called the hold person first, and then if that fails, then Soleil, you'll get the contested grapple as well.
Molich is still in the room with us, isn't he?
Yeah, he's walked over to the other side of the round table now to speak with Storm, but still within reach of, like, you know, running to, so...
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll just cast it on Gregory then. Yeah, I think when they were squaring up to each other, I was getting ready to cast it on both of them, but yeah, I'll just cast it on him then. 3rd level, hold person. No, yeah, I've got to do it 3rd level. Don't have any second spell slots left.
What's Gregory got to roll?
He has got to roll a Wisdom 19 saving throw.
It's a nat 20, 28.
All right.
Oh, dear.
The whole person fails. Now a contested grapple check between Soleil and Gregory. So, Soleil, it's a athletics check. For Gregory, it's an athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
It's 13.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. I rolled a nat 1, so I got an 8.
I push her out of the way. I push her out of the way as I sprint.
I cry.
I would like to shoot an arrow switching.
I'm sorry. You would have had to declare it before.
Okay.
Rubbish.
So, Fiddle, you go to cast it. Gregory, for some reason, it just is his internal will as well as Black Razor in his hand. You can't get a grasp on him, as Gregory just overpowers you, Soleil. Something you're not really used to, especially your sheer size, as he sprints at Sigismund, who now has his back turned to Gregory. Gregory, what are you doing?
Bring Black Razor up, and I want to grab Molish by the shoulder and spin him round.
Okay, so you grab him and spin him around as he turns around, and he's just got that grin that just appears on his face once more. What are you doing?
I look at him.
Not here. Damn it! Son of a bitch. You're lucky. You're lucky there's bigger things going on.
Of course, brother. Whatever you say.
In that case, I'm going to smack him in the face. After that, no, I just want to just punch him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say it won't be a roll, easy enough to do. You just crunch him straight across the face, and he does feel it. He kind of like his head kind of knocks over, and then kind of let go, and he raises a hand up, and you see he's got like a bit of a cut underneath his eye. He just kind of touches with his fingers, sees a bit of blood, and he just kind of licks it. You feel better
We'll
now.
resolve this after this business is done.
I look forward to it.
Just want to know one thing, Monarch. Why? Why? We were brothers. We grew up together. We shared everything. Don't tell me it was just out of jealousy, out of spite.
Brother, you had every...
I worked for it. It wasn't easy. I didn't just step into it.
You were chosen by Helm. I never got the call.
That didn't matter. Not to me. I didn't care that you weren't a paladin. I cared that you were there with me. You took everything from me. Everything we'd worked for. The peace that we'd made. The border kingdoms never knew such peace. Everyone was safe. Nobody was scared of the monsters that hid in the dark. Because of us. Not me. Because of us. And you threw it all away. For a lust for power. That wasn't the Monarch I grew up with.
Gregory,
Yeah.
roll me a persuasion check.
27.
You're right. I have been a bit of a
Yeah.
dick. You've persuaded me. I'm so sorry.
No. So, okay, all right, interesting. You see him look at you, and a smile goes. And for a split second, you see past those cat-like eyes, and the ones that you used to know. Just for a second. And he's just staring back at you, and almost seems like his throat's moving, like he's going to say something, and then he looks back at your party, who are all just kind of looking over, staring, readying their weapons. He looks back at you. Are you done, brother? Is the sob story over? And he's not smiling anymore. He kind of says that with a bit of a choke in his throat.
I see past your knowledge. I see what you are. And I'll see you after this is done. And I won't pull any more punches. Am I understood?
No snide comment this time, just nods ever so slightly.
I turn around. I walk back.
Okay, so you all...
I carry on walking past everyone.
Gregory walks out of the chamber, back into the moving staircase once more.
I say, don't think just because we stopped him, we're on your side. I stood beside that man as he wept at that woman's grave. You'll not be getting away this time. Like he said, we'll see you at the end. Like, follow Gregory.
Looks over to you, he's like, who are you again?
I put my middle finger up as I walk away.
Okay. Are the rest of you leaving as well?
Not before I call him a cunt.
Okay. So Soleil finishes with calling him a curse word.
A cunt.
Sure. And you all exit into the
Explicit tag.
staircase. Yeah. Bleep. We're gonna need that a lot for Tegan.
It is my favourite word.
It is. Okay. So you're back out of the staircase once more. You're kind of all, I suppose, at this point now segregated from everyone else, and you've had 5 minutes to yourselves. You can head down to the rooms allocated to you if you so wish, or you can stay at the staircase, or even leave the building itself. It's up to you.
I turn to Gregory and I go, I'm proud of you.
Don't. Not now.
I love you, Gregory.
We'll get him. We'll get him. Don't worry. Just wait until all this is over. We can go back to hunting him, and he can go back to staying one step ahead of us the whole time.
This does not sound healthy.
Come on, let's go look for these books and these maps.
What kind of man is Elminster? What kind of man would hire a man like Mollage?
A man who has no other options. He's up against the end of the world. That's what the stakes are at this point.
Mollage was there. It's Salt Rock. He was there.
I know he was there. I don't know why he was there. I don't know any of it.
He was in Cormyr too. Everywhere a rift has opened up, Mollage has been there. And now I'm just supposed to believe that he's an agent of Elminster and he's here to save the world. I've seen the atrocities that man's committed. Not just Elizabeth, but everything afterwards. The slaughter that man is responsible for.
But I did ask before we came in, are we going all in on Elminster? And you said, what other choice do we have? That still holds true, Gregory. What other choice have we got? 1 billion people rely on us for this.
Gregory sighs deeply. And I'd trade them all for Elizabeth.
I know you would. I've been inside that head of yours.
I don't know if I can do this anymore.
What would she want?
She wouldn't want of any of this.
But what would she want you to do now? In this moment, right here. Would she want you to give up and go and hide in a cave? Or would she want you to get over Mollage and go and save the goddamn world like the hero you are?
I've become a monster, Phil.
We all have. Look at me.
I don't think that I am a monster.
Fair play. JC's been pretty consistent through the whole campaign.
I have to give him that, yes. Not a lot of cursed objects, not a lot of paranoia.
His ears almost
going
fell
his
off
way,
once.
You know?
He was cursed.
Oh, that was true, actually. He dealt with that pretty well.
Yeah, he almost became a fish. I'm glad we got that squared away nice and quickly. And poor Negros. Negros got sucked into a bottle and died.
Yeah, I do remember reading Madness of the Fish King.
Yes, you did read a terrible book, and then your ears almost fell off.
It was an interesting couple of days. And I'd only known Necros for like 5 minutes.
I know.
And then...
and then sucked into a portal, munched alive. Helm's bells. What have we become?
Helm's bells.
What have we become?
I need rid of this sword.
You do. You do. I need to get my head screwed on.
I'm gonna go throw my arms around JC. I mean, I'll do that too, but I mean, Gregory. Sorry. I just grab them both. JC for no reason.
It sounds like we all have a bit of an awkward moment where Soleil goes to like hug Gregory, but then JC thinks she's coming in for a hug, so then they sort of stop, and then I think it's a big group hug, and then we also, and then we just go, fuck it, and all have a big awkward group hug.
Well, I have to say, I didn't expect this, but it's nice.
It is nice, isn't it?
It's quite nice, yes.
You know, if I
Be
wanted,
careful not to step on Fiddle.
if I wanted 4 people to go and save the world, I would probably pick 4 other people. But seeing as we're here, seeing as it's
yes.
landed on us.
So are you above or below crotch height?
Yeah, I'm right at crotch height. That's what makes it such an awkward hug.
He's like looking up to you this entire time. You're all looking down.
Voice is really muffled. He's talking into us. Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of us are having a hug, and you're just like down by our shins. Surrounded by crotches.
I really, if we could do this up next to a table next time, that would be good.
So I suppose this is it.
Yeah, it seems like it. Seems like it.
I have to say, as misfit as we are, you're more than a band of mercenaries to me that I hired once. I never paid.
And then joined.
And then joined. They're some of the best friends I've ever had. Truly.
Maybe potential lover?
No.
Wink, wink.
Friends. Solidly friends. Okay? I just want to make that
Did
very
you just
clear.
friends on me?
We know. More of like a friend area. Like a very large, very hairy sister.
I don't have any hair.
You do, and you're a wolf.
You do.
You do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
More
Just a
like
bold wolf.
fur than hair, I suppose.
Like Persian wolf. Persian cat.
Come on then, worlds to save, people to see. Let's go down to that library, read these books. My favourite.
Okay, so you head down to the library. So, heading back down the moving staircase to the tower, you eventually find one of the... Again, you probably get lost a couple of times on which staircase to take where, because they all seem to change direction. They don't seem to go in one move. But you eventually find the stairs that lead to the door labelled the library. To look at from inside would remind you, Fiddle, of being in the archives of Candlekeep in its design, although a lot smaller. Long, tall corridors stacked to the brim with books and tomes, with tables set in the middle of each aisle for study. It's completely empty in here, and the floating blue orbs that kind of almost like acting like prefects or something, just kind of like float up and down the aisles, give it kind of an eerie feeling. The table straight ahead of you from the door that you enter seems to be the only table in this library populated with books and notes. Okay, so going over to the notes, you see that there is multiple different books, some of them scribbled in, and you see there's a whole pile of just scrawled in notes that Elminster has made, and most of it is worthless. It's just dating, or it's just putting down the date, and nothing found, again nothing found. And as the dates progress, you see the handwriting becomes more and more frantic, and the calligraphy becomes less distinguished and more just kind of scribbles, where you see the deterioration take place in Elminster. But from the notes that you do ascertain, you see that he scrawled down that little is known of the Lich. I believe it is a creature of another world, travelled here for some reason. It has operated in the shadows for so long and has been nothing but a whisper. The only knowledge I could ascertain is in 2 different children books, and you see the 2 different children books are on the table. Elminster's notes believe these books were non-existent before the Blue Fire began, but somehow it is come into existence. He believes Acererak is a cocky creature, daring anyone to try and find its phylactery by leaving breadcrumbs. No doubt the location where the phylactery is located will be dangerous and full of deadly traps. So, he believes in these 2 books alludes to 2 different locations. One of those locations, to Elminster's knowledge, is where the phylactery is. However, does not know which book, and he wasn't able to ascertain where the location was within the books themselves. But he believes there are clues within the books that will lead you to a designated place within Faerun where the phylactery is. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, this is going to, and this is a section I've been working on, this is going to involve different skills, which gonna require all of you to use some what's the right word? It's more problem solving with you guys rather than within your characters, and then sort of you can RP it as you like, but in a sense there are clues within these stories that will hopefully lead you to wherever the location is. And so all the maps that have ever been placed in this Discord that you have access to, there will be clues within these stories that will locate to a location specifically in one of those maps.
Ooh. Welcome, viewers, to another one of Oliver's great riddles.
So,
well, in that case, Ollie, if we're doing a puzzle, can I just, instead of doing that, break the stairs?
Oh no.
Can I instead punch through the door?
Yeah.
Can I punch through time and space?
To be fair, Josh and I did in like session 2. Josh and I did eat a door to get through a puzzle.
That is true, but I did really like how you did that. Oh man, I forgot about that. Yeah,
we used magic to make a door edible and then ate it.
Yeah, because it couldn't be open, but it was slightly ajar, and there was a riddle about a portrait in a jar. There was like a key behind the portrait, but they decided just to eat through the door and progress instead of doing the riddle. So, which I thought, yeah, to be fair, they've outsmarted me. So.
I thought it was cunning.
Yeah, I thought it was very
No,
clever.
it was, and like it all made sense as well. It was like, okay, they're not strong enough to open it, but yeah. Anyway, by and by.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing Haaland at that point. We didn't have, you had JC and Haaland. I think that was more their style. Just keep going, go, don't think.
Yeah, it was something
More
that
power.
made everything edible. Yeah.
More speed.
Yeah, it's quite crazy. But anyway, so back to the puzzle at hand. I'm gonna essentially, there's 2 different stories. So it's up to you guys to kind of problem solve this, go through each story. I'm gonna copy and paste them into the Discord, but then I'm going to read it out after I paste each one, just for the benefit of the podcast, and then you guys can take it away from there, just so they've got all the information, and then we will see what happens. So the first one is called The Luminous Fisherman. A fisherman lived on a lake, perplexed by the beauty of the Lord's namesake. A beautiful daughter admired far and wide, no lowly fisherman ever to make her his bride. So the fisherman concocted a plan to be the fair lady's man. He caught a lightless fish, Moonmare by name, for the whole town to hear. He offered the fish to the Lord as a gift, but with the caveat that he could ask only one wish. Let me cook for you, my lord, the finest feast, a meal that will be worthy of such a beast. The lord agreed, and the fisherman started cooking. Little did he know what the fisherman was procuring. A vial of poison from the ancient god of the forest, claws as hard as iron, and the arch nemesis of the lion. You may take this killing vial, so you can take your beloved down the aisle. But many moons from now, when your firstborn grunts, you will deliver it to the god of the hunt. The fisherman agreed, and the lord ate the fish, not knowing what seasoned the dish. The fisherman consoled the grieving daughter, and she cried over her father's slaughter. Who could have done such a thing, she said, full of grief and regret. The fisherman soon wed the daughter, promising her the life as still as water. The new wife grew pregnant and bore a child, a beautiful baby boy who returned her smile. Let's name him after my father, she said. Acererak was his name, so he can live on in rename. But the fisherman knew of the pact he made. He snatched the babe from the cradle to sacrifice his little angel. He ran deep into the woods, back to the beast's adversary he stood. Here is the firstborn child as promised. Now take the babe and leave us, you knave. The gods of the hunt took offence to the slight, and slayed the fisherman and child in the dead of night. The now widower found their bodies, weeping once more at sorrow and pain. The god of the hunt outstretched a paw, where she willingly leapt into its maw.
I like it.
It's not perfect.
It's pretty good. I like it.
But it does the job, I think.
100%. I will just say now that I think I'm going to figure out some way for listeners to go along at home, whether that'll be a link in the show notes of some kind, whether it will be a link to like a YouTube video showing all of our maps with you reading this out again, or just a link to all of our maps. But yeah, just there'll be something in the show notes for that.
So the second one is called The House of Many Corridors.
Oliver,
Yes.
what are we actually trying to work out again? Sorry.
So
Sorry.
it's all right. It's all right. So there are 2 books that are children's stories.
Yeah.
In either book, there is clues that lead to a certain location within all the maps in the Discord. So you have to basically find out different clues between yourselves, and then go to the maps and then find a correlating location.
And do we think that each book leads to a different location, or do both books lead to one one location?
To two different locations.
Two different locations.
Each book leads.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that will be in Elminster's notes. Okay. So, second one, which is shorter. There was a kid called Faerun who suffered with nightmares. He stayed up all day and all night, tossing and turning, pulling skin and nail bare. But soon Faerun would succumb, for the house of many corridors would come. A stone house in a dark cavern would consume all light, in the womb of night. The child ran and ran down the corridors surrounded by hate, a never-ending maze of furniture and portraits. No matter how much Faerun made haste, he could never leave the deep waste. And in the corridors of the stone house, cloven hooves ran about, a dark creature of curved horns, chasing little children to the morn. Faerun hid and crawled into the little places the creature ignored. Faerun found the attic, the source of all darkness and anguish. The voice came to the child, a friend, promising of the sunrise and the nightmare to end. All Faerun had to do was give up his soul and banish the demon creature back down the abyssal hole. Faerun agreed and made a pact, waking up in the morning with Nare a scratch. Ugh. The child's mother entered to not see her child, but the lich within, with a smile, with a wicked grin. So that is the second one.
Okay.
So now, my work is done. Kind of up to you to kind of all knock your heads together. Again, if you do need stuff, if you're really stuck, then I can say within character you can ask for checks and I can allude to stuff. But yeah.
Okay, so the first one. Fishermen live by the lake. So the god of the hunt, Malar. So
a fisherman lives next to a lake, speaks to Malar, gets his newborn killed, and then he dies as well. Does he meet him?
So he lives on a lake.
Deep into the woods.
By the Lord's namesake. Okay.
He said. So he ran into some woods.
Wait, so he's perplexed by the Lord's namesake. Is it? Is the namesake the lake?
Yeah, I would assume so. So there is some lake with the namesake of a lord. I was thinking that there is Ophidian Lake. It's like southwest of Salt Rock. There's a big lake called Ophidian Lake, but I don't know what else to say there. I think the photo is quite small on my Discord. I can't open it very big, so I can't read all of the things on it. But that's one place to look. I can't see any other lakes anywhere aside from the place that we just were in Cormyr. In what's it called? Where are we? Shadowdale. There is also a lake there, but I think we've figured out the secret of that lake.
Ollie.
Yes, hello.
May I roll a history check to see what lakes are named after lords?
Are you wanting my help already?
Well, no, so we just can't see the map. We can't really see
the Ophidian Lake map. We can't. It's not like very good quality, but we can't read anything on there. But it might not be important, right?
roll me a history check then to ascertain that specific information.
So 14 plus 6, so 20.
Okay, you can rule out Ophidian Lake.
Okay.
Not Ophidian.
Where are you seeing that lake?
It's on the Salt Rock tab. It's like
that will be why.
Fourth from the bottom.
Fucking looking at the wrong things.
Is it just all maps you've ever sent, Oliver?
Every map I've ever sent.
That's hard.
That's a lot of maps.
I will say, to make it a bit easier, it's all the geographical maps. I mean, I feel like that's a given, but like, so in terms of like, you've got ones that just depict a town or depicts like a settlement. Ignore them. It's all the kind of more regional world maps.
Okay. So Dragomir is another very large lake. That's a possibility that is on a few of our world maps.
What was that like?
Which one?
That one.
That one. That's the one we're in at the moment. That's the one in Shadowdale.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dragomir is the only other lake that we've ever had a photo of that I can see.
He literally warned me about this
What was
before the
that, mate?
session. Like, oh yeah, I've got a puzzle for you guys, and I was like, "Are you taking the fucking piss?"
There is Lightless Lake on a very early Gothamir map. And it's the Gothamir Forest where he ran into.
That'll be it. It's that one.
I think Josh might have just cracked it. So on the world maps, I think it's the second photo Ollie ever sent. Gothamir Forest, there is Lightless Lake.
What was the next bit?
A fisherman lived on a lake, perplexed by the beauty of the Lord's namesake. That might be a lord? Lord Lightless? A beautiful daughter admired far and wide, no lowly fisherman ever to make it right. He caught a lightless fish. Yes.
Yes.
I think that's the lake. Yeah, I think that's pretty close. Okay, should we look at the other one now, quick?
Okay.
We've narrowed that one down quite far. So,
Nightmares, still right today, tossing and turning, pillars, skins, and nailed bare. Soon Felsen would succumb, for the house of the many corridors would come. A stone house in a dark cavern would consume all light in the womb of night. The child ran and ran down the corridor, surrounded by hate, a never-ending maze of furniture and portraits. No matter how much Felsen made haste, he could leave the deep waste. And in the corridors of the stone house, cloven hooves ran about. Dark creature of curved horns, chasing little children to the morn. Felsen hid and crawled into little spaces the creature ignored. Felsen found the attic, the source of all darkness and anguish. A voice came to the child, a friend. Promise of the sunrise and a nightmare to end. All Felsen had to do was give up his soul and banish the demon creature back to the abyssal hole. Felsen agreed and made a pact. Waking up in the morning with nary a scratch, the child's mother entered to not see her child by the lich within with a smile, with a wicked grin. Is Felsen not the lich?
I fucking hate this. Ollie, I hate you.
Why?
I quite like this. This is alright.
Because I'm shit at puzzles. Like, every game I play, if there's a puzzle, I just fucking Google it.
It's part of tabletop.
The house of many corridors.
Yeah, but I haven't been here for the long run. I don't know anything.
House of Many Corridors, I assume. So this is where Felsen became Acererak. Acererak, there we go.
The House of Many Corridors. It could be Candlekeep, I suppose.
But it's inside a cave.
Maybe.
A house inside a cave.
A house inside a cave. Is that what it says?
Yes.
Does it?
Yes.
A stone house in a dark cavern would consume all light in the womb of night.
Did you write these yourself, Ollie?
Sorry?
Did you write these yourself?
Yeah, I did. That's why they're so badly written.
They're not. They're really good, Ollie.
Nice. They're really good.
That's when I...
No, I genuinely thought you'd copy and paste and then change like the names.
No, I just came up with it.
They are really good.
No, it's really good. Proud of you, Oliver.
So, we think that... Hold on. So the god of the hunt took offense to this slight and slayed the fisherman and child in dead of night. Now widower found their bodies. The god of the hunt outstretched a paw where she willingly leapt into its maw. So we assume these two are the same places.
No, different places.
So they're different. What are we looking for? A cave?
Yeah, so each book correlates to a different location.
Yeah.
A different, okay.
Yeah, a different location.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to find somewhere with a cave, maybe? Oh, we did the first one so easy.
No matter how much
Come on, Josh.
haste you could leave the deep waste.
Point out this one as well. You just got the last one straight away.
We're looking for a cave. What other clues do you have for me?
For the house of many corridors would come, a stone house in a dark cavern, would all light in the womb of the night.
The House of Dark Consumption.
Where is that?
That's in the Reachmere.
Where's that? On which tab?
That is on world maps, and it's the Faerun's Underdark.
The Faerun what?
Faerun Underdark.
Faerun Underdark. When did that go up?
Yeah,
that
so
went
it's
up
a late-
today.
Yeah, it went up. It went up today. Yeah.
Well then.
House of Dark Consumption.
Where on earth is that? How did you even find this?
The Deep Waste. Yes. So it
Dark
says
consumption. Where is it on the map?
it is top. So it's at the top. So you got the Deep Wastes, and then it's just below. So it
House
has
of Dark Consumption. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I think
here
we're
it
onto
is.
something here.
So no matter how much Felson made haste, he could not leave the Deep Waste.
Okay, we've got it. So the House of Dark Consumption in the Deep Wastes, or the Gulfmere Forest. What do you think, Oliver? How do they sound? The House of Dark Consumption in the Deep Wastes, and the Gulfmere Forest.
You can make individual checks if you want.
Yeah, go on then. What would you like us to roll?
I would like to check that it's correct.
Yeah. Investigation check.
Yeah, I'll say investigation. Yeah,
You might
Sherlock
deduce the
Holmes-
location of a hidden object.
Sherlock Holmes stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Investigation. So, what's your investigation, Gregory?
+1.
Mine's plus 11.
Roll with advantage then,
You,
Phil.
you
'cause we're
get
both
you get
looking at the
advantage
maps.
because you're all putting your heads together.
Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful.
Soleil's just chucking books across the library, getting pissed off.
Are you going to roll? Phil?
Yep, here we go.
20.
There was a 20 on the first one and a 17 on the second one. They weren't very good rolls,
Okay.
but
So, what book are you checking and to ascertain? So, tell
we'll
me your
do that.
guess and for each book.
So, for book 2, we're getting the House of Dark Consumption in the Deep Wastes in the Underdark.
Okay, so going with the House of Dark Consumption, especially with your sort of keen mind fiddle, you pick out the clues in this scripture. The clues are stone house in a dark cavern and the deep waste. They're the only two clues in that. The rest of it is all misguided information.
Nice.
And you can ascertain from those two clues with the map, you're pretty certain that's the right place.
Fantastic. Good to know. And book number 1, we're going for the Gulfmere Forest on the shore of the Sea of Fallen Stars.
Okay, with the Gulfmere Forest, the clues are lightless fish, moonmare, town. All in the start. The rest of it is all misguided. You're in the right vicinity.
This Moonmere Town.
Oh, got lost.
Yeah, I saw Mossmere straight away. Maybe.
Moonmere.
I mean, Starmantle, maybe. Is, Moonmare.
Said town as well.
But town, yeah.
I'll say with Gregory's history check as well, rolling that over because it was very high. Moonmere is another name for the fish that come from that lake. So it's not specifically named after a location. It's just the name of the fish that come from that lake. So it's just to further emphasize that is. So yeah, lightless lake, town next to it.
So we have Starmantle and also Cedarsbrook.
Yeah. Larag, Barkbrim, Cedar Spoke, Oaken Hill, Starmantle. There are the ones on the shore.
Oaken Hill looks more like a village. So Cedarsbrook looks like a town, and maybe Starmantle is a city.
Can I check that Cedarsbrook is a town and the other two things villages?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you can, yeah. I would say, yeah, that would be history check.
You got a 19?
Cedarsbrook is indeed a town. It's one of the oldest town within Gulfamere. Was kind of the seat of power before the Firemain Cathedral and the Nobanian religion kind of popped up, and then the cathedral kind of became the power of the forest. It's always been called the Forest Kingdom, but it's never been an actual unified kingdom. Just full of druids and, different clans and stuff. Starmantle as well is a seaport town that was known for trade within the Sea of Fallen Stars. It was one of the visit points that potentially that John Claude and Harlan might have visited once or twice.
And perhaps when we first arrived at Salt Rock, we maybe stopped there before going over.
Yeah, probably would have passed through it because the last leader, the Nine Hells, Magnus, started from Firemain Cathedral, and then you kind of marched your way up through the forest to Greencrest, where you got the pool bridge over to Carrickstone.
So yes, Cedarsbrook then. Is that the answer?
Not sure.
What do you mean?
I
was doing the puzzle at the same time you guys were.
You asking me for answers? I would say, to be fair, because one's very much located up from the lake rather than one that's actually based on the side of the lake, and part of the story dictates the fishermen by the lake. You would deduce it probably would be Cedarsbrook would be the most viable location out of the two.
Perfect, amazing. Look at that. We defeated your puzzle.
No stairs were broken.
No stairs were broken.
Yeah. So you now have two locations. In Elminster's notes, he says the phylactery could be in either one. So
amazing. What are the chances the god moves it when we get to one?
He doesn't specify a location. This is all his research has come down to these are where at least a lich relating to Acererak was mentioned.
Yeah, I know which one I'd prefer to go to.
Yes.
I think I know which one it's in.
2 sets of puzzles.
Yes, there were two possible
locations.
There were two possible
No
locations.
way to figure out which location.
But it said yes. That's what I said. What are the chances God moves it when we get to the first location?
And what did God say?
He laughed. not a good sign.
And God laughed.
And God laughed.
Ha! Peasant!
I'm not. If it helps,
me for favours.
I've written stuff for each one. One of them is written for the location where it's located. The other one isn't.
I'm
I
sure.
knew it would be the House of Dark Consumption, because why would we go to Cedarsbrook? Because it seems like a nice sleepy town by a lake.
It
Yeah,
does.
very well.
It does, you're right.
Yeah.
Very nice sleepy town by a lake. And oh wow, look, a lich's phylactery. We took that without any problem.
But at the same time, it'd be very annoying to have to go all the way to the Underdark.
It would.
To
And that's why I'm
find
hoping
nothing.
our new buddy, what's his face? Elminster, this all-powerful wizard, can just be like, hey, guess what, fellas? I've got a teleportation circle. It will take you exactly where you need to go.
That would be nice. I mean, I can just teleport us right there. That's
Well,
not too
great.
much
We've
of
got
an
our
issue,
own powerful
but
wizard buddy that doesn't need to.
yeah, I might get it off target slightly, but I could definitely get us close within the Underdark.
As long as we don't end up in a wall, I'm okay.
But we could also, your point about Cedarsbrook sounding very nice and easy to get to, that does mean we can just go there quickly before bothering to go to the Underdark. At the same time, Salt Rock did kind of explode and become a bit of a crazy hellhole, so there's also a
that's
good
right,
chance.
yes.
There's also a good chance that Cedarsbrook is within the boundary of that hellhole.
Well, so
And
hold on.
it's
let me
even
think
harder
about
to
it.
get to.
Well, if you look at where like all of the portals all the rifts started opening up. It's around that kind of area, right? So if Acererak didn't have much power at that time, and he could only branch out a little bit, then maybe Pseudosproke is the way to go. Maybe we're being led on a wild goose chase with the whole House of Dark Consumption thing. You know, because you think obviously that's evil.
Exactly.
And you wouldn't want to go there.
Exactly. If I was to tell you I've hidden something, it's either at the bottom of this deep, dark cave or in Milton Keynes. You would say, well, obviously it's in the deep, dark cave.
Yes.
Meanwhile, my precious things hiding out in a little warehouse in Milton Keynes, never to be touched.
Somerset, the most evil location known to man. Just for the podcast listeners' reference, I was keeping track of the time it took them to work out. It took them roughly around about 20 minutes, 21 minutes. So they solved it really fast, to be honest. So.
Unless you're that one listener who, solved it in 30 seconds flat.
Yeah.
Clicked on the first map you clicked on. Yeah.
Well, this is why I made a point to make it original, like the story, so it couldn't be too easy to ascertain. But yeah, the maps and stuff.
You hear that, Wizards of the Coast? It's an original story.
Rune Bay.
Don't poke the joke. Rune Bay. The dark under.
Yeah.
Under.
Under.
Alrighty then.
Right, so you're all in the library. Sort of managed to scribble down some notes. I'm going to say for the purposes of story beats wise, I'd say you managed to solve it quite quick, but it took you like the majority of an afternoon, just sort of like compiling notes, looking through maps, pulling out maps, because, like pulling it out, I'm trying to put them across the table, taking it off the table, knocking your heads together, sort of stuff. During that time, you see his name, Storm comes in just to check on your progress and basically gestures to one of you, essentially just to expedite the RP. She hands you over what looks like basically a flare, but it's more like ornate and wooden in nature. And she essentially says, this is a recall beacon. So if you ever want to return to Sanctuary, and every time you leave and want to return henceforth, make sure you take one of these flares with you. I haven't put it into D&D Beyond yet, but I will do. So if someone just writes it down in the inventory, if you speak its command words, everyone within a 5-foot radius of you, so once everyone bunches in, you speak the command word and it will recall you back to Sanctuary. So you can just pop back there and then you pick up another flare. Once you leave again, you can pop back. So I definitely didn't rip that off from Dark Souls whatsoever. None of this campaign is ripped off from Dark Souls. So someone mark that down. So you've got this kind of recall flare.
I've marked it down if everyone's okay with it.
Sole.
Hello.
During the time with the research, you would have roll me a perception check actually.
Okay.
And I'll say do it with advantage because of your innate ability to smell and hear.
Okay. Perception with advantage. I got 2 19s.
Okay. What'd you get in total?
19.
Okay, 19 in total. So when you're all sitting there and doing your research, while everyone's putting their heads together about where these locations might be in each book, you start smelling, and you can smell outside of the library door, just there's like a presence where you can smell the must of wet dog.
Oh dear. I go
And-
investigate immediately.
Okay, so you just going through and opening the door, or are you creeping up? What are you doing?
I'm just gonna open the fucking door.
Okay, so you open the door and you see just kind of leant back on like one of the kind of stone banisters of the stairs is Sigismund, just kind of like just leaning up there with a belt in his hands.
Who the fuck is it? Who's... Oh,
He's like,
who is
ah.
Sigismund?
Sigismund is
Molich.
Oh, is that matey? Sorry. The bad guy.
That guy.
Yeah, it's matey then.
Dickhead.
That's me.
every NPC is gonna have to wear like a shirt with their name on it now or
Yeah.
something. It's just a reminder.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm gonna be like, what are you doing?
Are you shouting that out
You
loud?
nosy fuck. Yes.
He's like, werewolf. I couldn't help but notice since we're teammates now.
No, we're not. I don't know you.
Well, we are both carry the title of agents of Elminster. I thought we should help one another as a token of friendship, especially because of our nature. So yeah, he's just kind of leaning there, and he's got this belt, and he sort of outstretches his arm to offer it to you, but doesn't kind of like give it to you. He waits for you to kind of grab it. He's like, token of friendship from one werewolf to another.
Can I like check it somehow to see if I take it, it's gonna like kill me?
You can roll me if it's actually like check if it's trapped or whatever. That would be an investigation check.
Okay, let me roll it. That's a 15 for investigation.
To look at, and Serenade is definitely unique in terms of like how it looks. It's a very thick leather waistband with as a buckle, it's instead like a big kind of giant's face on it. It's kind of carved into it. Definitely seems to radiate some sort of magical energy, but in terms of like if it's trapped or if there's anything physically on it that will harm you, doesn't seem to be.
Okay. What is this belt?
Physique has kind of shrunken down a little bit, and he's like, this is going to give you a bit more punch with your attacks, if you get one. It's gives you great strength to whoever wields it. I think someone of your stature can great benefit with a belt like this, and me and your companion in there are nemesis, but doesn't mean we have to be.
This is true, so I'm going to take this, but when I'm done with it, I'll be sure to give it to Gregory so he can kick your ass with it after. So, thank you.
He sort of laughs, and you see one of his canine teeth sort of reveals itself a little bit. Like, fair enough. It's a gift to you. What you do with it after is completely up to you. I just wanted to outstretch a hand of, you know, the sort of teaspoon, I suppose, the olive branch.
This doesn't make peace with me, I'm afraid.
What is it that I've done to you, if you don't mind asking?
Nothing at all, but you see, Gregory is my sugar daddy, and if I become friends with you, he'll probably cut off my money, and then I'll have no money, so... Plus he's also my friend, and I'm trying to get him to fall in love with me, and he's not doing that so far, and then if I become your friend, he's not definitely going to love me. So...
Soleil's not a great person, is she?
he sort of chuckles, and he's like, what's a sugar daddy? It seems way too trivial for someone so serious.
He gives me money.
That's it?
Yes, but it's not just that. I'm not, I do actually like the guy, okay? But enough of this chit-chat. I don't know why I'm still talking to you. This isn't a peace thing. I'm not going to be your friend. At the end of the day, Gregory wants to kill you, so if he tries to kill you, then I'm going to try and kill you as well. So, farewell. And then I walk away.
He sort of just kind of whispers under his breath that you catch, and he's like, something about what they say with people with exes, and to like watch out with them. They're not over them, and then just kind of walks off as you enter back into the library. So you've got a belt.
It's funny how he thinks I care.
A belt of frost giant strength.
And I'm going to go straight over to Gregory and tell him everything that just happened because I'm not a snaky bitch.
Okay, Gregory's currently trying to ponder the second book of the House of Dark Consumption one that he's kind of in the process of trying to work out.
Yeah, I'll just pick him up, put him to the side.
What are you doing? Trying to read a book?
I've got something to show you. So I just saw the your worst nemesis, okay? And he gave me this belt, and I've accepted it because it's going to help me, but when I'm done with it, because when I'm done with it, I'm going to give it to you, and it'll give you extra strength so you can kill him.
Not a very stylish belt.
Oh my god.
Disgusting. Get that away from me. It's been demolished. I don't want to. Get it away from me.
Do I have your permission to wear it though? Because I'm not going to wear it if you don't want me to.
What? Well, do you want to wear the belt?
So it will give me extra strength.
If you want to wear the belt, wear the belt. But what were you doing talking to him?
He was listening at the door, and I went out and caught him.
Why did you punch him?
Because he was not being threatening.
His thing has been monarch. He's always threatening.
Look,
what do you mean?
This is.
What did he say to you?
This is your beef between you two, okay?
That's not what I asked. What did he say to you?
I'm always on your side, okay?
Well, good to know. I would have assumed so, yes. But still, what did he say to you?
He wanted to become friends, and obviously I rejected him
sure
because...
he did. I'm sure he did, the bastard.
But obviously I rejected him.
He tried to flirt with you, didn't he?
I don't think so.
Oh, I bet he did. Oh, I bet he did. Did the same thing with Elizabeth. Not that there's any correlation between you and Elizabeth.
No, of course not.
Yes,
of course not.
None at all.
Anyway,
bastard,
I told him that we're not going to be friends. Well, I said anyway that I would give the belt to you after to help you kill him, and then once you try and kill him, obviously I'm going to be...
What am I going to do? Beat him over the head with a belt?
I will help you kill him after. Capiche?
Well, not really, but still. So that's all he said to you, nothing else?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really, or no?
I told him that Gregory was my sugar daddy, and then he asked what a sugar daddy was. Because that's what you are, and I said if I became friends with you, if I became friends with him, then you would cut off my money. And also I said that I do...
cut off your money? I'm not paying you a salary.
But you do give me money.
You did give her a good amount of money. You did buy her that dress for the party.
It was one time.
No,
it was one
for
time.
She's been with us for like a month or so, and you
a
paid
couple
her
of
quite a
times,
bit of money.
Well, I felt bad for her. She was poor.
Don't feel bad for me. I feel bad for you.
Why?
Because you're a bitter man.
What do you mean?
You're holding on to grudges.
He killed my wife. That's it. It's more than a grudge.
But the point is, anyway, the point is that
The point
I
is, the
said
bastard
no.
killed my wife, and now he's trying to flirt with my friend by giving them a belt, and you insinuated that I was some kind of patron of yours that paid you for sexual favors.
I mean, I would like that, but it doesn't happen.
Well, no, of course it doesn't happen. I'm not going to pay you for sexual. That's ridiculous.
You wouldn't have to pay me.
Well, I wouldn't do it regardless.
Why?
I
No particular
nod at
reason.
JC and we walk out to go and grab a coffee or something. Leave these two lovebirds alone.
So Fiddle and JC walk out and find somewhere else.
Yeah. Why don't you like me?
What do you mean? I do like you. You're
Am I
nice to
ugly?
dinner.
Is that what it is?
No.
Are you intimidated by my size?
No.
Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. I said I'm not his friend. I don't want to be his friend, and that's the end of the matter. But I thought I'd speak to you about it first. Because I am your friend.
Yes. Friend. You are. My
That's
friend.
mean.
My good friend. My good, large werewolf woman of a friend. Who
She's
is
like,
quite large.
well, she's glaring at you.
We're companions and we sit by the campfire. We're friends.
Companions with benefits?
Oh my god.
All I really see, to be honest, is I've given you quite a large sum of money, so I don't really see what's in it for me. You know?
Fine.
Well, don't say that.
Don't be mad with him for not wanting to sleep with you.
Riddle, are you there? Riddle? Fiddle,
No.
sorry, are you there?
No, I did leave, that's fair.
Well, what is it that you want? What do you think this is, Soleil?
I don't know.
What do you mean you
I'm
don't?
not good with people. I was raised in the mountains.
What, you were raised by mountains or just in them?
I mean, I was raised by Goliaths, but pretty similar.
Yes. Quite large. In a good way. Not an intimidating way. No, in a good way.
Well, I won't be mad at you. I'm not mad at you, I'm just disappointed.
What do you mean?
I'm nursing my hurt feelings.
Why did I hurt your feelings? What are you talking about?
Rejection, isn't it?
What do you mean rejection? What do you,
Don't make me say it.
say what? What are you talking about right now? You've not pieced together. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Why is this literally like a man and a woman speaking? It's like what Ollie's always like to me, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's just go to bed. Or not, because we have something very important to do. I didn't mean it like that, by the way.
I was going to ask you because there were separate rooms, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
So, I would like to say something before you leave. If it's any consolation, you do have a fantastic arse.
She grins at that. Wiggles it as she walks away.
Okay, so as Soleil walks off, and Gregory, you ponder on with the research, and then after
Soleil
a while,
twerks off Ollie.
Okay, Soleil twerks off out of the library. As you'll ascertain the locations you need to go to and decide which one you want to, or well, wherever your next heading is there anywhere in mind you guys want to do to finish off this session? A location that you want to head to, or do you want to wait until next session because it gives me more time to
I think we definitely want to give you an idea of which way we're heading.
Yes.
But I honestly don't know which one to go to.
You're looking at like a 50-50 here.
The evil one? Underdark?
I'd say Cedar's Brook.
Yeah, we should check the easiest one.
It's on this plane. It should be easier to get to. Or, not on this plane. They're both on this plane. But even so, it should be easier to get to and less difficult if it is that one. But definitely the easier one to check off the list.
But also, I think it's like...
Unless
I think
Cedar's Brook has ended up inside the radius of like this hellscape that's opened up on.
But I do also think the House of Dark Consumption is a bit of a red herring, because you just assume that it would be there. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And I do trust Oliver not to move it. Yeah, I think we go with Cedar's Brook, just because it's the easier one to cross off the list. If we start arriving and it is covered in hell, then we might have to reconsider that. But it's closer, should be easier to get to.
Is that unanimous? You all heading to Cedar's Brook?
Well, why don't we ask the leader of the Nine Hells?
What do you say, JC?
John Claude
Where
himself.
to next? Is this the part where we all gather around the table?
No. We all just say, "Oh yeah, John Claude," and we look over and he's smoking a rollie, leg up on the side, like leaning against the wall in the library, feet up on the table. Yeah.
Gregory's let over the table, a couple of daggers in where they are. Fiddles
He's
there
like
with his scrolls.
half lit by golden hour.
We all look up at him.
Did you guys say you wanted to go to the foresty place, the Starlight Lake? It's easier to get to. I agree with everything you all said.
Well, so we've got two options. The one is the House of Dark Consumption, or Cedar's Brook.
Let us go to Cedar's Brook.